Okay, when you get the forms, the first thing that's going to be at the very top is the work location. Put transportation there. Next will be job. Put on there whether you're a bus driver or bus monitor. And then next will be your employee name. Put your name. All right, the first thing we're going to go into, it'll have there at the very top, workplace information. It'll have your bloodborne pathogens online module. All that we're doing online, so you want to initial that you're going to do that online. Some have already done it. If you have not brought us a certificate, make sure you get it to us ASAP, because I can't certify you as a driver until I have that, because that's part of your core curriculum. So you can't drive until I get that. Next will be the harassment policy and sexual harassment information. Again, that's a module that's online that you're doing. You will print off that certificate. You need more forms back there? Raise your hand if you need a form. Keep your hands raised if you don't have the form yet. Because this is important. This is something the central office keeps. I think we got 4 over here, guys. Got 2 down here, Doug. Here, Kathy, and there you go, girls. Okay, so work location is transportation. Job is whether you're a bus driver or a bus monitor, and then your name. The first thing on there was the bloodborne pathogen. That's what you're going to do online. For the new people that are here, don't spaz out. You don't have employee numbers yet. We can't get you in the system till we get all of that done. So you're going to do that once we get you an employee ID number, okay? Next would be the sexual harassment, which will also be done online. The next thing is code of ethics. That is in your packet, and it's a form that's going to look like this in your packet. That's something we decided to do this year. Before, we've told you always to look it up online, but we decided to include it for you. Really, it's just everything about being a good law-abiding citizen and a good person. But read it. So I want you to initial to the right side there that we have given you that information, and that you will read it and you will understand it. The next thing is the employee assistance plan. I've given you the paper in your packet. It's the health span thing. I want to go over it a little bit. As a full-time employee, now this is not eligible for at-will people yet, but as a full-time employee, this is a program and it's totally confidential and it's for you. If you have something happen in your family, if you're going through a divorce, if you've had a death in the family and you're having a hard time dealing, you just have a difficult teenager, or, you know, anything that life can throw at you that you're just having a hard time dealing with, finances, and you need some help, you know, just trying to get yourself back together. This is something that's free to you, and it's something that's part of your benefit here. It's confidential, it's not reported, we don't know it, we don't need to know it. This is just something that's there for you. Does anybody have any questions? It says here they're available 24 hours per day. It's got phone numbers to call or a website. So I think it explains, kind of how it works or whatever, but they're there for you 24/7. Okay? So you want to initial there that we've given you that information. The next one is you need to pay really strict attention to this, because we've had people that have innocently lost their jobs just because they didn't follow what we tell you. And it's the drug and alcohol and other prohibited substance. District employees shall not manufacture, distribute, dispense, be under the influence, purchase, possess, use or attempt to purchase or obtain, sell, or transfer any of the following in the workplace or in the performance of your duties: alcoholic beverages, controlled substances, prohibited drugs and substances and drug paraphernalia. Substance that look alike or controlled substance in instances involving look-alike substance. There must be evidence of employee's intent to pass off the item as a controlled substance. And in addition, employees shall not possess prescription drugs for the purpose for sale or distribution. You can't bring drugs to work that's your medication and sell to a student or a coworker. I hope no coworker is going to take your medicine. That is a real biggie. You can only take the medicine that is prescribed to you. If you were to be pulled in on a drug test, or just, we've had our 4 random drug tests through the year, and you think you're sailing right through the year, and you decide to do something crazy like that, and you have an accident. Guess what? You're going for a drug test. So that is something we cannot save your job. It is what it is, and it's something that we can't save your job for that. That's the law. A controlled substance shall mean any substance or immediate precursor listed in 218A of the Kentucky Revised Statute. You can always look these statutes and these regulations up yourself if you really are questionable of what is in them. And they provide that law there for you, or regulation. Prescription drugs is something I want to hit on pretty good. When you go to the doctor, say that you have a cold, or your back's hurting, or some kind of pain, and you're wanting to go get relief from your doctor, make sure you let your doctor know what the job is that you do. Make sure they know you're a school bus driver, because that may change how they prescribe the medication for you. I'm going to give myself for an example. Everybody knows, if you've been around me very long, I carry a cough. So I do take a lot of cough syrups. So my doctor knows the job that I do. I have a certain cough syrup for the day. I have a certain cough syrup for night. So I'm prescribed that way. If I take that night cough syrup during the day and I'm drug tested, I'm a positive. And they're going to contact my doctor, and my doctor's going to say, no, I prescribed that for her at night only. Guess what? I've lost my job. So make sure your doctor knows what you do. They're going to provide you with some relief. It may not be the greatest relief in the day, but they're going to provide you with something that will not affect your performance at driving a bus, because it's all about safety. And then make sure that you follow what the doctor tells you to do, because if you ever test positive, that's who they're going to contact as your doctor. And if you're not following the doctor's instructions and just medicating yourself the way you feel, you're probably going to lose your job. So make sure you let your doctor know what you do, because they know that you can't drive anything during the day that's going to make you sleepy. All right, anybody have any questions on that? We can't tell you the drugs. You need to contact your doctor or business health or something if it's something legal for you to take. We're not doctors, so we can't tell you what those drugs may be. Say that you wake up at night and you've got a really bad cough and you have none of your cough medicine, or you have a cough medicine sitting in the cabinet that's 3 years old and it's yours, it's prescribed to you. That is not a legal prescription. That prescription has expired. So if you go on and take that and they contact your doctor, there's not an up-to-date prescription available to you. Or if you take your spouse's or kids' cough syrup or something, that is not something that was prescribed to you, and if you test positive in a drug test for it, it's not your prescription and it's not an up-to-date prescription. So be careful. You really got to think about in the job that you do, the medication that you take, and make sure the doctor knows and follow their orders. We do 4 random drug tests a year, but we can also pull a drug test if we have reasonable suspicion. If you're really acting, and the trainers and supervisors have all been trained in it, and it's something we could check. So you could be, when you show up for work at any time, you could have to go give a drug test. It's never something that's planned. Also, too, if you have an accident, there's certain qualifications that we would take you for a drug test. Use of tobacco products. Okay, they're prohibited on any Kenton County school property, at any Kenton County school event. That's buses, that's schools, that's bus lots, that's parking lots. Do I need to say any more? I think I've hounded it for a long time. Anybody that was at my lot for safety meetings, hey, if I get a call from central office saying a school's complaining that they see our driver smoking and they're trying to stop their parents, guess what I'm going to do? Just like I did last year, I policed the lot pretty heavy. Don't make us look bad. Get in your car, go somewhere, have your cigarette, come back. Just don't do it there. Some of you especially were right in front of the school. Parents see it, kids see it, the policy's there. So we're going to have a good school year. We're not going to have no more issues with that. Acceptable use policy. It's also a paper in your packet. It looks like this. You need to sign up. We all have computers in our lounges and stuff. You can't get on any appropriate sites and things with that. Sherry, is that the only paper we put in there? I had like 2 or 3 others on the computers. Packet I looked through didn't have them. But if it's in there, it reads, but you're going to sign off and you're going to have to turn this in that you're not going to be inappropriate on our computers. Yeah, this paper's in there, but there was like another paper that was 2 things. So we need these back, so make sure you turn those in. Dr. Banna, do you want to do the requirements for reporting dependency and neglect? Reporting dependency and neglect.
Yeah, I can do that. If you suspect or witness or any kind of abuse, you need to report it to your supervisor. Your supervisor is...
No, he's telling me to get by you.
Okay. Your supervisor is going to then call me. We're probably going to all do a group call to Children's Services if it's that severe. We have to report it. It's illegal for us not to. You can't just do a drive-by Sherry or Jim or Tina and say, hey, I saw Dad punch his daughter in the mouth on the way to school. You might want to call that in. Can't do that. For your protection, you need to witness The call, we have to call it in together so that the child's protected, so that you're protected legally in case anything ever happens. So any kind of abuse, if you don't know if it's abuse, run it by somebody. Tina, Sherry, Jim, me, somebody, to find out if we should call it in. Usually when in doubt, we go ahead and call it in and let Child Services take care of it. So it's just better to be safe than sorry. You guys are the first line. You see everything. So we had a lot of people probably help a lot of kids last year by turning in some information on self-abuse and things like that. So please, just report.
You're next too.
Okay.
Confidentiality.
Confidentiality. Again, it's a federal program, FERPA. Please, 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 if you drive special needs, do not converse with anybody but the teacher regarding anything about that child on the bus. Not his medications, not his behavior. And guys, I know it's tempting. When I was a principal, I got thrown down, spit on, you name it, it's happened to me. But you can't go home, you can't tell your friends. You're not gonna believe what Bobby Joe did to me today. He bit me, and he pulled my hair, and he did this, and he did that. That is a confidentiality breach to that child. It's a small community, everybody knows everybody. If the child kind of has issues in the neighborhood, you're kind of cooking that up by talking about it. Just, if you have to talk about it, go into Sherry, Jim, Tina's office, shut the door and say, I just have got to talk about this or I'm going to explode. Because they can know about it because they supervise you, okay? But for goodness sakes, do not talk to neighbors ever about anything going on with any kids on your bus, special needs or not. I'm trying to think of some of the calls I got last year. Please stay out of neighborhood feuds. If somebody wants to come up and start telling you, please do not hesitate to say, whoa, I think that's more information than I need. I think I better stop you there. You better call, again, I'm gonna put them on the hook, Tina, Sherry, if it's something you think needs to be told, you better call Tina, Sherry. You can't believe the calls I get, so-and-so knows all about my husband and I's divorce and saying that I'm running around, and I'm just going, what in the world is going on? It is okay, it's not rude to stop somebody if you're getting too much information, okay? And guys, you and I both know that there are people, you just pull their string. Good morning, and you've got a life history. It's okay, I'm really running tight today, I've got to go. You don't need to hear it. Most of all, guys, you don't need to know. The less you know about what's going on in that neighborhood that doesn't impact you or your bus or your students, the better off you are, okay? Just not getting involved. Whatever you do not pass along information about students, teachers, other bus drivers, neighborhood people. Just don't. It never ends well. While I'm kind of on this, you're going to get parents, and this happens a lot, and I know they seem uber friendly, and they just seem like, gosh, this is the kind of guy I want to go out and have a Coke with. That's the guy that comes to the board and says, yeah, well, I was talking to the bus driver on 164, and he says that Kim Vance is an idiot. And he told me that I should be pulling up in that driveway to pick up his child. Guys, they've done it, okay? They're poking you for information. They want you to say what they want to hear so that they can come forward and say, yeah, you were just being nice. You were just nodding, going, yeah, we ought to pull up in your driveway and pick up your child. You're right, everybody should be picked up door to door. You were really just trying to get rid of them. But what you did is you set them up to come to a board meeting and make us look really bad, like we're not all on the same page. Again, it's that confidentiality thing. Just be careful. People are so smart anymore. Everybody watches How to Catch a Predator, and they're out to catch a bus driver. So you just need to be very, very careful about what you say and what you do on the bus. So just don't be afraid to stop them, okay? You don't have to listen to it. You're not their therapist, all right? You're a nice, wonderful person that is gracious enough to take 65 raging teenagers and youngsters to school every day back and forth. You don't have to be the parent and neighborhood therapist too. All right? If you have any questions, I'll be in the back.
Here, I think that's mine. All right, so initial that. Conflict of interest basically doesn't apply to us, but don't be out there. What's some instances? I really don't think it applies.
No. Well, here, I've got one. Guys, a conflict of interest would be you bringing candy onto the bus and selling it to the students, okay?
Right.
We frown on that. Number one, you're not supposed to eat on the bus. Number two, you can't have a captive audience, which would be a busload of children, and sell to them, all right? That's a conflict of interest. Laugh. It's happening.
Restraint and seclusion, that's the PBIS. They're developing a new module, and it will not be available, I don't believe, until December. And we're going to do that online when that comes about. So we don't have that ready yet. The new employee safety training, we will be getting the video, and anyone hired after the last in-service last year is going to get the ALICE training, because we did that with everybody in our in-service last year. So anybody hired after our last in-service last year is going to have to do the ALICE training, and we have to get the video and get that. Safety training, that really doesn't involve us, does it? Cell phone policy.
Really?
No cell phones while you're driving the bus. If you didn't listen to Linda, and if some of those videos didn't touch you, no cell phones on the bus. That means when you're sitting in your seat, you should not be on your cell phone. If you have to make an emergency call, you pull the bus to a safe location, you get up out of the seat, get out of that driver compartment, and make your call. That's an emergency call. That's not somebody wanting to know if you're going to go to lunch today or whatever. That's an emergency call in order to pull a bus over to a safe location. Now, if you're out of school and you've got a little layover there and you want to call somebody, get up out of your seat. Because I'm going to tell you, we get the calls that so-and-so was driving a school bus. If you're out of that seat, you can't be driving it, can you? But when you're loading at a school and students are boarding your bus, you should not be on your cell phone. You're doing your job as a school bus driver, and you need to pay attention who's getting on your bus. That's sometimes how little ones sneak on there that you don't realize they're there until you go to drop off and you're like, where'd you come from? That happens. So you need to be paying attention and not on your phone at that time. So are we clear on cell phones?
Sure.
Yes.
Last year I was told it was all right to have a cell phone on the dash for lock purposes. Earlier today, somebody stated not even do that.
I would say not even do that. Don't let anybody see your phone. You know how many kids will say, and they just see you punch that just so it'll light up so you can see the time and say you were texting. Take any doubt, any suspicions that you could be texting. Get one of them little round clocks. We ordered them one year and then they end up discontinuing it or whatever. But get one of those little dash clocks or get a watch. But I would really caution you to even use your cell phone for a timepiece. It can be very misconstrued by somebody passing by or a student sitting in the back of your bus. And I mean, if we get a report, we're going to check it out. We've got cameras on the buses. We're going to pull the camera. If we can't prove it there that you weren't using it, you might have to submit your phone records. So we have the AVL. We know when you're working on the bus. And if you're moving a bus and we get a ding on your cell phone thing, there goes your job. So the safest thing would be keep that cell phone put up. Evaluation procedures. Everybody here for the first 4 years, until you get that 5-year PIN, will be evaluated every year. The evaluation has many tool pieces to it. There'll be one piece of it that a trainer, area coordinator, or assistant director will ride with you. That's just one small piece of an evaluation. The biggest part of the evaluation is your performance all year long. Are you missing a lot of work? That's going to be addressed into an evaluation. It has been proven, statistics prove, that those students are safer with a regular bus driver than a sub-bus driver. A sub-driver has more distractions. They don't know where they're going. They don't know where the kids are. They don't know the kids. So there's more distractions on a sub-driver. So you are safer to be on your bus every day with your students. If you look at the number of days we expect you to work, that's very minor to what somebody works 12 months out of a year in a factory. So it is important to be at school doing your job every day. So we do address those things. Are you part of the rumor mill? Are you a problem with the rumor mill? We address those things. Do you just have a nasty attitude to other people? We address those. Are you professional? You know, working with our students and school administration and stuff. All these things are part of, do you work well with your supervisor? Do you share things with them and you work things out together and work peacefully? You know, there's all kinds of things. It's about being a good employee. And if there's things that you're weak on, we will address those. We have a midterm that's basically around December we try to do. I know the first year we did it, everybody was panicking that we were writing everybody up because we were asking you to sign it. We're just basically addressing how the year's going so far. So if your attendance is a little weak and we address that, that's not a write-up. That's letting you know that we're noticing it and these are some things you need to improve on. Sometimes you're doing a wonderful job, you know, and that's most everybody. We're addressing that we're noticing that you're doing such a good job. So that's what that midterm piece is. It's not a write-up. I know that first year it was like, I got wrote up. No, you didn't get wrote up. It's just something we're trying to develop you into the best employee you can be. That's what an evaluation tool is. It's a training tool of how to make you a really good employee or how to recognize you for being a good employee. Then after that, every 3 years you'll be evaluated. So, or if for some reason that we feel we need to do one, if there's some things we need to correct or something, we could always pull that. But that's how the evaluation process works. If you're an at-will person, you will not be evaluated. It's just full-time people. Okay? These papers need to be turned in, so if you want to make sure you've got everything initialed and filled out, pass them to the end so we can pick them up, and also to that acceptable use policy.